Okay, man, are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. Now, come on, now crank this motherfucker up.
Break it down like this.
Hello, Internet. Gino, that Guido Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today we are going to be discussing Multiversus, the WB property extravaganza. And joining me, as always, to discuss any and all Smash clones, Super Smash Bros. Expert, Pete Busby. Hello, Pete.
Hey, what's going on? Super Smash Bros. Last fighting game I played legitimately, put a decent amount of hours in there. I was a DK main, not top of the tier list, but I think tier lists are for chumps, so don't come at me with that nonsense. This week's fun fact is about albatrosses. Albatrosses. So this is from Albatrees, thank you. This is from The Guardian. So everybody knows that albatrosses stay aloft a lot. In fact, for the first 6 years of their life, they'll probably never touch land. But even beyond that, they can fly around the world in 46 days. They just fly around and around. That's the fastest circumnavigation time they found for albatrosses.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They get up
Isn't
and
that
they never
crazy?
stop getting up.
Yeah, 46 days. That's nuts.
Is that nonstop? Are they just going around the world and then they rest? Or do they have
think
rest time counted for in there?
Yeah, they have to land to eat. So, like, they must touch water at some point, but, I mean, they can't be spending that much time down there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, they
got
do.
places to go.
Yeah.
They do manage to stay aloft, like with very little energy because of the sea breezes. Like they don't do very much to stay in the air. They're basically kites, sentient kites. That other voice you hear is M. Palladino. Hello, M.
Hello. This is not my first Smash game, and God, I hope it's not the last one, because
Haha!
it's a doozy to end on.
This is the last one you play before you die. Oh no!
If this is the last game I play before I die, God help me.
God's not in the game yet.
No, not yet, but
maybe soon.
Maybe.
Yeah, Warner Bros. Probably owns the Bible, so.
That's fair. You know,
Them or Disney.
their recent acquisitions might have given them the rights to. Who owns like the rights to those old 1950s and 60s biblical movies?
Oh God.
With like Charlton Heston as
Yes.
Moses.
Yeah. Who owns Moses?
Paramount, maybe.
Hold
Let's see,
on.
maybe.
Moses,
It's called Ten Commandments, right?
Yes, the Ten Commandments.
the movie, that is owned by Paramount Pictures.
Damn it.
Adapted from the Bible, in case you were wondering.
Okay, because that'd be very funny if they were like Charlton Heston's Moses. It's in this. He just parts the sea on people.
Who do you think wins between Charlton Heston's Moses and Charlton Heston's Spartacus?
Ooh. Moses has magic. I feel like that's...
I don't think Moses would refer to it as magic.
Moses can turn a stick into a snake. That's fucked up. If anything, if the Prince of Egypt taught me anything, it's that Moses has magical powers that normal men cannot compete with. So I'm going to say Moses wins.
It's a good guess.
Okay, so before we discuss Multiversus, a reminder, you can get in touch with the show at Deep Listens Pod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections, and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. You can send in emails, reach out to the show. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens, which would get you access to our Discord. But also, I made a decision about a donation incentive that we would participate in, a Patreon incentive, because, you know, the Off the Deep End folk, they played Unlimited Saga, one of the worst games that I've ever touched, and I joined them because that's what a leader does. And
You didn't have to. You chose this path.
That's what a leader does.
I don't acknowledge you as our leader.
That's a good call. That's a great decision. I think it would be good if we got another 10 or so patrons if we played Sonic 2006.
Okay, I guess.
Are you aware of this game, Pete?
I mean, the only Sonic game I'm really aware of is Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brotherhood.
That's a good call. The best one.
Yeah.
But the second
You could be
best
aware
one,
of another Sonic game.
the second best one, where Sonic rescues a human princess.
Oh, is that the one where they make out in that field?
Is that what happens?
I like that's all you know about this game. That's good.
Wow.
That's
I
appropriate.
have a certain niche to fill on the podcast.
Yep. So if we get a few more patrons, we will play Sonic 2006. It was between that or Shadow the Hedgehog, and I thought, Sonic 2006 is more accessible. It's like $5. Shadow the Hedgehog is a collector's item. So, go ahead.
Before we do the thing, you gotta do the shit. What was that thing we were doing?
Oh, you mean the National Network of Abortion Funds?
Yes, that.
That is a good call. So just a reminder, we have been raising money for the National Network of Abortion Funds. We've been asking folks to donate because Roe v. Wade's been overturned in the United States, which means now there's a increasingly patchwork network of laws and regulations that are restricting access to health care to women all over this country. So if you go to abortionfunds.org/donate, you can donate to a local fund near you. You can donate to the general fund, and then they divvy it up among those local funds. But just a reminder, stuff is bad in our nation of origin, and we're trying to make it a little better as best we can. We did the community endurance run a couple of weeks ago, but our drive to get some more donations towards the National Network of Abortion Funds goes on unabated. So if you're in a position to donate, if you're in a position to do something, please do. Thank you for the reminder, Em.
Mm-hmm.
No problem.
And now, without further ado, if you supported the Patreon, you would get access to the Discord, where you could talk to us, you could harangue us about games we've played and yell at us for playing Multiversus, or you could end up on the Discord report.
The Discord report. Boop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop. This week on the Discord report, we're talking about fighting games quite a bit. I wonder why.
People keep telling us to play Melty Blood instead of Multiversus.
Yeah, we could be playing Melty Blood. We could be playing Guilty Gear. I could play as Bridget, because she's very in vogue right now.
That's true.
Neko Arc is in Melty Blood, and everyone's very enthusiastic about that, probably because it's terrible.
It's madness.
Yes.
Ben, did you watch the video of Neko Arc that I posted?
Where she starts streaming and there's a overlay on top of everything.
Yeah, there's a super move where she becomes a VTuber, and there's an overlay that covers up the super meters and the health meters, and she's just kind of VTubing, but the game continues behind her.
Yes. But it's covering up the health bars and the super meters, and so you can't actually see what you're doing, so you better be pretty confident when you use it.
Yeah, it's like the blooper in Mario Kart, but a super move.
Yeah.
Seems messed up.
I watched that and I was like, damn, I might pick up Melty Blood, because this is kind of hilarious.
When I first heard of Melty Blood 10 years ago, I thought it was fake. I thought that's a fake fighting game. Its name is Melty Blood. That can't be real.
Here's the thing. There are no fake fighting games. There are only fighting games yet to be made.
Yes.
So if you hear a name that doesn't sound like it's real...
Yeah. Dong Dong Never Die. That's a fighting game.
Yeah, it probably exists. Also, they put Dragon Ball Z into Fortnite.
They did.
They've put everything into Fortnite.
Yeah, everything's going to be in Fortnite.
The whole world is for. I'm probably in Fortnite by now.
Yeah. I picked your skin up. So
That sounds
enjoy
horrible.
not having your skin.
Oops.
So We might do a game night or something to look at. I don't think we're going to actually buy Goku, but maybe we'll play the game and
They
see
put
other
the
people.
Kamehameha wave in there.
Yeah, you could pick it up and then fucking obliterate people across the map. It's
Can you
very.
spirit bomb?
No,
I don't
just
think so.
Kamehameha.
Yeah.
But I did see a video of someone riding the Nimbus
Hmm.
and then landing, taking out a lightsaber, killing someone, and then Kamehameha waving the last person on the map for a win.
Sure.
Yep.
What
that
even
sounds
is
about right.
Fortnite anymore?
Apparently a
It's
good
the
game.
same. It's the same thing it was when it. Well, maybe not when it started, but when we played it.
I think Vegeta's in there too. Bulma's in there.
The funny part is all of the characters have to be the same height.
Yeah.
So Vegeta, who is slightly shorter than the average for a Fortnite character, they just made his head bigger. So he kind of looks like a bobblehead.
It's great.
Very funny.
I want Vegeta with his Bad Man shirt. I don't know if they've done that, but they should.
Fuck, that would be so good. Get on it, Fortnite.
Yeah, what do you got? Integrity? No.
No. Just piles and piles of money.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's kind of what's been going on in the Discord, and I think another thing that's going on in the Discord could coincide with my obsession, so I'm just going to claim it for my obsession of the week. I watched Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
That's all right.
Something no Yaiba? Kimi?
I don't remember.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Let me get the subtitle right. I would never want to mess up the subtitle. I'm very serious about
You're about
names.
3 years late, so I've already put it out of my mind.
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
There you go.
I only watched season 1 because season 2 is on Crunchyroll.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 was good. The animation is very good. The only problem I have with Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba is the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Main character's gang, perv boy who sucks at fighting except when he's unconscious, and I don't know, Muscle Boar. I forget his name. He just yells.
Yeah.
Both of them yell a lot. You don't want multiple yelling characters. You know what makes Yu Yu Hakusho work? Yusuke, no yelling. Hiei, no yelling. Kurama, never yells.
He doesn't
Kuwabara,
even raise his voice.
exactly. Kuwabara, though, yells all the time.
Constant yelling.
One. This is a show where they took Kuwabara and split him into two people. You've got the horn dog idiot side, and you've got the fight me all the time, I'm masculine guy. And they've split him into two characters, and they are now 2/3 of the crew. Or I guess 2/4, because the only woman in the main crew is a mute. Because she has
Let's just watch
muscle.
more Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hell yeah. Let's do that. That show's
I like
good.
how Netflix took people like tournaments and animes, and they
Yeah.
were just like, our animes are only tournaments now.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Every anime has to have a tournament arc.
Yep.
that's true. So yeah, Demon Slayer, good show. I find that the show increases in quality when the gang is not present and decreases in quality whenever they show up. And also whenever, like towards the end of the season, they introduce the elite Demon Slayers, and it's much like when they introduce the elite like court guard squads in
Yes.
in
The
Bleach.
Gotei 13.
Yes, when they introduce those freaks, and it's like, oh, this guy's a dog. This guy's got a crazy hair and bells in his hair, and all of a sudden, all of these characters who were like at least somewhat grounded, now you've got the elite goons who are running around, and I thought Demon Slayer was operating on a different level than that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's one of these. We have to have the 7 cool folks, each of them represent an element and have one character affectation. Great. So yeah, good show, great animation. Better when there's fewer characters involved. Worse when there's more.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a shonen, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I heard the movie is pretty good.
I heard that too. I was looking it up because I was like, it's weird that there's no season 2 anywhere that I can find except Crunchyroll. And I guess season 2 begins with the movie pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's an overlap. And I guess the movie is the highest grossing animated or anime film ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Does that count like Miyazaki too?
I believe it
That
does.
sounds
nuts.
fake. I don't believe that.
I mean, I can look this up again.
Highest grossing anime movie of all time. It's Doraemon.
Oh, Doraemon?
No, wait. No, that's the top of the list. Holy shit, it is
Yeah.
Demon Slayer.
That is crazy.
Its budget was...
It beat Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle and Ponyo.
Yeah, its budget was $15.75 million, and it grossed $504 million to date.
What the fuck?
People really like this show.
How did they do that?
I don't know. I like this show. I'm not like all about it, but this does explain. I watched it mostly because when I went to Hot Topic to get Hot Topic things for the community endurance run, I saw a ton.
I appreciated the explanation there. I was going to have a lot of follow-up questions.
When I was at Hot Topic, like you do, I saw just a ton of Demon Slayer stuff everywhere, and I'm like, I don't remember that show being on Toonami or anything. And all the other shows that they had merch everywhere were largely Toonami shows. Your Naruto's, your One's Piece. And I was like, I guess people really like this Demon Slayer. I'm going to find out what the kids are into. And I guess it's like a kid who's got a good heart and is kind of depressed, and his mute sister.
Yeah, kind of.
Who's a demon.
Pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good nose. So yeah, Demon Slayer. Check it out. It's a good show. All right. Without further ado, let's discuss Multiversus, the Warner Brothers Super Smash Brothers clone. Pete, why don't you explain? I mean, did I just explain it by saying that?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you pretty much just accomplished it. It's a Warner Brothers Smash Bros. Clone. So basically, the premise is Warner Bros. Is taking all of their IP, and they have all of it. It's them and Disney. That's everything you know. It's either Warner Bros. Or Disney owns it.
Yeah,
and they're taking a whole bunch
of... As was foreshadowed in Space Jam 2, A New Legacy.
Yeah, very true. And they've taken all this IP and they're slamming these characters into a platform beat 'em up. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's like a story. There's no like master hand or anything, is there?
Not yet.
Give it time.
It's technically still in beta, so maybe later there will be. I hope that they add Don Cheadle's character from Space Jam 2, A New Legacy. Nope,
don't do it yet. Save it for later.
What is his name? No, I mean as the Master Hand stand-in.
Oh.
Because he's in the movie. He is.
I didn't see that movie, actually.
Good call.
Actually, I didn't either.
Yeah, you didn't like it?
I mean, it's fine. Like, it's not great. It's like the original Space Jam. Like,
oh, okay.
You look... If you were a child...
You can watch it once on TV when it's on, and then
never
bother
the
seeing
original
it again.
Space Jam was like 35 minutes, too.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was like barely a movie.
It was so good. But yeah, like if you were a child and this is your first interaction with brands, then Space Jam 2 is great. But, you know, if you have existed long enough to have seen or heard of Ready Player One or Free Guy or any of the films that are just like...
Oh, man. I watched Free Guy the other day.
Oh,
That's
you did?
a good movie. Yeah. I didn't see it until now.
It's funny.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
It's
got one of the best lines. It's got one of the best lines I've ever heard in a movie, too.
Yeah.
Where the guy's like, everybody wants Kentucky Fried Chicken. Why would I give them Albuquerque boiled turkey? I was like, that's a good point, my man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, it's Taika Waititi surprisingly in that film. Very weird.
Very good, like
he's
turn to the
everything.
sinister too. He is in everything.
That's true. So Multiversus kind of builds off of kind of some of the stuff that went on in Space Jam: A New Legacy, in that Warner Brothers is just harvesting IP. Whatever character you're thinking of, maybe they're in there. Like right now, we've only got about 17 characters. They are as follows. Let me see if I can do this off of memory. Correct me if I miss any of them. Shaggy,
Okay.
Velma,
Yes.
Batman,
Yep.
Wonder Woman, Superman, Harley Quinn, Finn the Human, Jake the Dog, Garnet, Steven Universe, LeBron James, Arya Stark,
Mhm.
the Iron Giant,
Mhm.
the weird dog that they made just for this game.
You don't like Rain Dog?
I don't like Rain Dog. I'm sorry to say, I don't like Rain Dog. Tom and Jerry, Bugs Bunny. Did I miss anyone?
Tasmanian Devil.
The Tasmanian Devil. Damn it. One of the damn Looney Tunes characters. And I guess maybe when you're listening to this, Morty will be there. Possibly
I think it was in the last 2 days they announced some more characters that are coming soon, but no idea when.
Black Adam might be there. Stripe from Gremlins might be there. Unclear. We don't know when those are getting released, but it's an eclectic mix, let's say. And the game is free to play. They're going with the League of Legends model of character access, so they have a rotation of characters who are free to play, and then they give you Wonder Woman if you just do the tutorial. So you'll have 5 characters to play, 4 on rotation, and Wonder Woman. If you just, sign up for the game, and then it rotates, I think, on a seasonal basis. So currently, the free-to-play characters are LeBron, Arya, Steven Universe, and Batman. And then from there, like, as you play, you get gold. Gold is your currency you use to unlock characters and some other stuff that we'll go over later. And so that's your way to get permanent access to characters. Go ahead.
Just while we're on the subject, there's a real currency too with a dumb name.
Gleamium.
There we go. That's the dumb name.
What they called it?
Of.
Yeah, it's premium.
Oh,
Premium Gleamium.
Sure.
Yeah, so Gleamium can also be used to unlock characters. It can also, but that is the only way you can get most of the cosmetics in the game.
It just doesn't have the ring of like, give me some V-Bucks. Mom, can I have some V-Bucks?
That's
For
true.
Christmas, I just want V-Bucks.
Mom, I gotta buy some more skins.
Please, I gotta get the Pete skin.
Mom, I want the Rock skin and the Wrestling Man. What's his name? Oh, what is his name? John Cena's in there now.
Oh, yeah.
John Cena, of course.
The Wrestling Man.
In Fortnite. Yeah, I said The Rock, but also the Wrestling Man, and that was not the same person. It's weird.
The other one.
He's escaped his WWE past, for sure, at this point.
And so has John Cena, kind of.
Yeah, but John Cena isn't as ashamed of it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so what character did y'all gravitate towards when you first loaded up the game?
So when I first loaded up the game, I screwed around with some of the bruiser characters, the more simple ones. And then once I unlocked her, I decided to be a Velma main.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So Velma is a weird character. She's a zoner. Like, she does a lot of range stuff.
She's support, like, technically. Like, so, all right, they have 5 character classes. There's bruiser, assassin, support, mage, and tank.
Yes.
And Velma is a support. She's range, but she wants to, like, work out a 2v2.
Yeah, so they've done the Overwatch thing where the 2v2 is the default mode, and characters have defined roles kind of in that 2v2. So, like, Wonder Woman's a tank. She's got a couple of moves that will, like, deploy a shield, which will block all attacks from in front. She can also apply a buff onto herself and your teammate that will make you immune to 1 hit worth of damage. So you could just kind of get super armor and tank through something. Your mages are generally ranged damage dealers, Bugs Bunny and Tom and Jerry. They just throw shit all over the place, pies, bombs, safes, all sorts of stuff like that. The bruisers, like you said, Pete, they run up and hit things for the most part. They hit hard. Assassins are faster, and they tend to kill well, like knock people off the map pretty well, but they're lighter, so they can't take as much damage. Supports tend to have, like, buffs and healing, like weird stuff like that. And I think that covers all of them, right? I didn't miss any types.
I don't think so.
I think you got it.
Oh, tanks. I think.
Oh yeah.
Tanks. I guess Wonder Woman's technically a tank. Her, Superman.
Yeah, she's like a shield character.
Yeah.
So they can just take a ton of damage. They have some buffs for characters, but the way that these characters play is distinct enough that the classes I don't think do the characters justice. Like they're a very, very broad definition of what they do. But LeBron does not play anything like Shaggy, for example. So M, who did you gravitate towards?
I started, I was messing around with most of the characters that were on rotation. So I did, Superman, Garnet, a little bit of Rain Dog, but I didn't like him either. And then Wonder Woman. And then once I had enough currency to buy one, I got Harley Quinn, because she's pretty good. And she just hits people with a hammer, and that's basically it. She hits really hard, and that was enough for me. So
yeah, she gets kills, she moves fast, she hits hard, and
yep.
This is a Smash clone, so those are all good things to do. And it's worth saying we played most of this before Season 1, so the balance has been patched since we played. Bugs Bunny was S tier. He's been nerfed since we played. Harley Quinn was S tier. I don't know if she was nerfed too. I think she was a little nerfed.
Damn it.
So yeah, they've rebalanced. And it's worth saying, this game is in beta, so there are active changes to these characters being made. Like LeBron changed one day his dunk move. I mained LeBron. That was who I played the most. And he had a dunk move that was kind of one of his best kill moves, and it originally did a shockwave. He would slam the ball into the ground, it would explode, and there'd be a shockwave out in front of him. They removed the shockwave on the dunk, so now it doesn't hit as far as it used to. Its range has been decreased. But on an alley-oop dunk, it still has the shockwave, so they tried to add some texture to the character. But it's odd. This game's free to play. It's not out yet, technically. So there's active rebalances going on. And you can buy these characters. You have to buy these characters. You only get 4 on rotation and Wonder Woman. And there's a 17-character roster that's only growing. So it's a bit odd that they are asking you. I shouldn't say odd. Odd isn't the word. It's frustrating and shitty that they are asking you to buy characters that are actively being balanced, right? I could buy LeBron because he's S tier. He's not. But if I bought a character who I bought because they were S tier and played them a lot, they could get nerfed on me, and then I may or may not have the resources to buy a new character.
There is a reason. There is a reason you would want a character, and it's because they have a leveling track, basically.
They do.
Which can get you more coins if you play them a bunch. I don't know if it gives you enough that you can be just invest in one and then go right into another once you get down the tier, but there's some return on investment, a little bit, as long as you're not spending actual money, because that's a losing proposition in these kinds of games.
Yeah, they definitely give you some resources back, but it's not. They don't pay for themselves, for sure. They don't give you that much gold. Though playing the character to level it up, you will get gold as long as you win matches, so you can earn your way to other characters without trouble. I was able to, in the amount of time we were playing before the show, I unlocked LeBron permanently, Bugs Bunny, and I have enough to unlock one more character. So it's fairly generous with gold, but still it's frustrating, right? If you invest in a character, they could change underneath your feet. And another thing that handicaps your characters when you get new ones is the perk system. Could you explain the perks?
So basically, you have a bunch of perks that do different things. It can make you up your projectile speed. It could. I'm trying to find a list, but there isn't really anything.
Give you a triple jump if you
triple
hit an enemy
jump.
in the air. You usually have a double jump. You could get
damage boost.
Damage.
Yeah.
It's basically a bunch of
Yeah,
those.
speed boost.
Increased projectile speed.
Whatever numbers are operating on the back end, you could probably up them with a perk. So, yeah, you want to have your perks kitted out. The only way to do that is to play the character a lot. That's literally it. You just got to get them up on their leveling chart, and then you'll unlock more perks. So when I was playing, I accidentally went into the play against other people mode, because it isn't very obvious when you're in which mode, and they had a lot of perks, and surprisingly, I did not last very long. So, yeah, it kind of makes it tough to balance.
Yeah, because like your character, your version of Bugs Bunny, if you buy Bugs Bunny and play against another person whose Bugs Bunny is level 15 and yours is level 1, your Bugs Bunny is worse than theirs. Strictly. Like, if you are of equal skill, your Bugs Bunny will lose. Because their Bugs Bunny just does extra damage. They also, at level 7 plus, like I think 7 or 8, one of those levels, they give you a like character-specific perk that will change the way the character plays to a certain degree. Like Harley Quinn gets a move. It might be at level 15. Like some of these perks are further down. There's a perk she gets where she has invincibility at the beginning of her moves. It's treated as dodging when she uses a move, which seems fucked up. And it seems like if you don't have that, you're worse off. Or like Tom of Tom and Jerry fame, he's got a fishing rod he can use, and that fishing rod's an attack, but if you have a certain perk, the fishing rod will work as a grappling hook, and if you hit the stage, you can reel yourself in and save yourself. Like, those are fundamental changes to how the character plays. And you don't get them unless you play a ton of that character. Like, I played probably 50, 60 matches with LeBron James, and he's only level 13 for me. So I don't even have access to everything.
It takes so long. It takes hours.
Yeah. And in addition to unlocking perks, just from playing the character, they also have a perk unlocking system where you can spend gold to unlock the perks your character does not earn naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, what did you think of this system?
I mean, I'm against all systems that basically leverage. I mean, it's basically real game currency, right? So you can use gold, you can use your gallium, premium, gleamium. You can use your gleamium. So I mean, again, it's a way to like reward play, but it's like, you know what this reminds me of? It's like in the original Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is taking me back to my FPS days. It's like you could unlock new guns and perks as you advanced, but the original guns you started with were good. So like you didn't really get much of an advantage. You just got more flexibility. In this case, you do get more flexibility, but you also get that advantage insofar as, this is what you're saying at the beginning, Gino, like you're inferior for having not played as long.
Yeah, as someone who's played some fighting games, the game that this reminds me of is Street Fighter Cross Tekken, a game that, did either of you play it?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Not that one.
Good for you. So Street Fighter Cross Tekken was a 2D fighting game. It was, Street Fighter characters fighting Tekken characters. You could be Kuma the bear, or you could be Ryu. But it was a 2-on-2 system, similar to this, though it was a tag system instead of, free-for-all. Though there was a free-for-all mode. I never saw anyone play it, but it existed. But it had the gem system, which involved giving your characters, you unlock gems that you could apply to your characters to give them, plus 5% throw damage, plus blah, blah, blah recovery time. Same sort of perk thing. And what happened in the highest tier of competition was, one, you had to know, like, you had to set up your character, right? Your version of Hugo was not the same as someone else's Hugo. You had to make sure that the characters had these gems unlocked, or you had to turn gems off for competitive play, right? Like, either everyone had to have access to everything, or you had to just straight up turn it off. so that everyone was even that way. But also, it just meant that people figured out what the good gems were, and that was all anyone equipped, right? Like there was a correct answer to what the best perks are or what the best gems were, and everyone just did that once it was discovered. So it's really just a handicap for the player for the new player. The entrenched player or the competitive player will know what the good perks are. They will spend the gems. So it creates an unnecessary barrier to new players that for a free-to-play game that is trying to be as broad as possible in a lot of ways, it's a bad decision, I think, to add the perks. Now, it's acting as a carrot to get you to play more minutes with each of these characters, to get you to play and stay on the treadmill, which I think is, free-to-play design, right? Like they're trying to get you in the Skinner box happy.
I would say we've talked about this before, like when we played Genshin. It's more of a to get you to spend money situation. If they have the premium currency, you will either suffer for however many hours it takes to level a character naturally, or you can do what they call in game development. It's something like it's a term
gouging?
called yes, but they call it fun pain. Sometimes you are meant to be in pain when you're playing these types of games, in that there is a grind to it, and if you want to relieve that pain, you will pay actual money to do so. Once you get sick of it takes X amount of hours to level up, you need to do it 15 times, or you could swipe your credit card and it will be done immediately. I have been gotten by this in the past, because some games, like Paladins, which I've played briefly, really have a long leveling process. And a season only lasts 60 days, I think, for a game like that. I'm not sure what it's going to be for Multiversus, but in several days of playing, I went up 2 levels. So I was
Cool.
yeah, this is not working very well. It's a trap.
Yes,
That's it.
for sure. It's a psychological trap. That's
Yes.
what it's there for. And we don't need to rehash the exploitative stuff. I just want to call out the perk system actively detracts from the gameplay in a lot of ways, and they have shackled this on, right? There are no other that I know of Smash clones that made this choice. So I think it is actively a detriment to the game that they did.
There is a reason that Smash is very popular and it doesn't have any of these types of systems. It's almost like it makes it there are 80-something characters in Smash, maybe more now. If you had to do this for each character, no one would ever play anything besides their main. And that's half the fun of playing a Smash.
And that's what this game, I think, is. That's one of the problems. And another problem with this is that this game's in beta, right? Which encourages you, it makes you want, assuming that this was a real beta, right? An actual beta where you want to learn things about your game and fix them. You want players to play an even spread of the characters so that you get data on each of them. You get matchup data, you get bug data. The more players that are playing character X, the faster you learn about character X. Well, if you've built a system that strongly incentivizes picking one character and then never changing, or changing very irregularly, and also you have to unlock other characters, and it takes time to unlock them. What you're going to incentivize is people to look up the tier list or look up, who the good characters are at a given moment, buy the best one or the one that they like of the best ones, and then never swap, right? And so your characters who are D tier, your Iron Giant right now is D tier.
He's just so big.
He's too big. That's the problem. These people hit him in his little shins. But you get less data on the Iron Giant because fewer people play him. Right, same thing.
Yeah, it's like an interesting way on the back end where they are choosing a couple of characters each week or two to focus on, and those are the ones that are in the rotation. Mm-hmm. So LeBron is in the rotation now because they rebalanced him, and now they want to get the data on how he plays. So that's why he's going to be probably in the rotation this week and for the following rotation. And then if any characters are, I would have to look at the actual like patch list to see what they're rebalancing. But it's like Arya, Batman, LeBron, and Steven are the ones they're focusing on this week. And Arya had a whole bunch of changes. Batman had a whole bunch of changes. So they also changed the Iron Giant a ton by now just looking at it. Not sure if he'll get better, but
he'll be different.
It'll be
he
different.
Can't get smaller.
Yeah.
So.
They can make him the little giant.
Oh, look at the little baby giant.
He's just a little baby.
But yeah, it's an interesting proposition. Like they had a choice between getting as much data out of the beta as possible, data beta, and instead they went with profit, which is not surprising, but it is disappointing. So what did we think of actually playing the dang thing? So it's a platform brawler. Like the differentiating factors, I would say, beyond the IPs themselves, are you've got a double jump by default. Every character has a double jump. Every character has dodges and air dodges. So it's a very mobile game. There's no blocking. There's no throwing. So I would say those are the big distinguishers from a systems perspective. And there's no smash the way that Smash has, right? Like if you press things properly with perfect timing, you get a smash attack in Super Smash Brothers. This does not work that way.
It's a little bit. It depends on the move, but there's no like heavy attack, which is what you want to press in Smash to like almost definitely get a smash attack. So we'll get to the. I'm gonna say the word. We're gonna get to the juice of it at some point during this discussion, but it all ties into it.
Yeah, the smash attacks in this game, like the finishing moves, are character specific. Like in Super Smash Brothers, if you hit forward and attack with the correct timing and get the heavy move, it's probably going to hit pretty hard, whoever of the 80 characters you've got. Your forward attack in Multiversus might be trash. It might do almost nothing, or it might be a ranged attack if you're a mage. So the shorthand that Super Smash Brothers has is just not present in this game the same way. You need to really learn the characters to know what the good buttons are. Pete, how did you find it to play?
I mean, it was reminiscent of Smash, certainly. So I don't really play many fighting games. So on a scale of 1 to Street Fighter or 1 to Tekken, I found this one much more approachable than many others in the genre. But I don't think any hardcore fighting game enthusiast would even put those on the same list the way I would.
No, this is for Smash people.
Yeah.
And for it's very contentious within the fighting game community whether Smash is a fighting game. For a very long time, Smash was kept out of EVO very deliberately. Also, Nintendo hates competitive Smash and actively wants to kill it.
Yeah.
Which is very funny. So this is a game that will appear at EVO because Warner Brothers will pay for it, and then the Smash people can play this. But yeah, it's a very different style of fighting game for sure. Em, as someone who's played a good amount of Smash, how did you find this game's eccentricities?
Oh boy. As I said in the Discord, any minute I'm playing this game is a minute I could be playing Smash and probably having a better time. The weirdest part to me, Smash has I really want to stop mentioning Smash in this.
You can't, because it's a clone.
But you literally can't. I would like to, as journalistic integrity sort of thing, but it's literally impossible.
I mean, it's like trying to talk about Darkstalkers without talking about Street Fighter. Those games are very similar. This one's just spooky.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to another fighting game that will not be mentioned, there's a very limited amount of stuff on the screen at any given time.
As long as you turn off items.
Yes. There is like your health bars at the bottom, your percentages, and that's about it. Like certain characters have like a little bar or something above their percentages. That's about it. This game, on the other hand, has like so much stuff popping up on the screen at any given time. It's madness, and not in a good kind of madness. It's like too much stuff is happening. I don't know if you played as Superman at all. Did you try him out at all?
Like one match, not very much.
Superman has a like a frost breath, and then that pops up like a little frost icon over someone's head that has a counter that then ticks up.
Yeah.
So you need to like have him do his super ice breath, and then watch that counter to see when they freeze, which is such an odd thing. There's also the like dodge mechanic, which we sort of touched on, and that has a bar that can get depleted, and then when that is depleted, you do not get any invulnerable frames to your dodge, which is the whole point of having a dodge. So if you do it often enough, it will just like stop working, and then you have to wait for it to recharge, and there's a little tracking thing on the screen, and that is so strange. In the other fighting game, you just have an orb that pops up on your character, and then it slowly decreases in size, and that's how you know when you can stop blocking. So it's like a diegetic part of the combat. It's not like an additional thing that they're popping up on the UI. This game drives me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the ice climbers, when they freeze someone, if they freeze them, they're in a block of ice. If they don't
just
freeze
get
them,
frozen. Yeah.
they're not frozen. Also, this game has cooldowns on many abilities. So your specials, some characters will have specials that you cannot use multiple times in a row. There'll be a 5-second cooldown, so you can't use, like, for example, Arya throws a knife. You can't use her knife move 2 times in a row. You have to wait like 30 seconds or whatever. Probably not 30, like 10 seconds to be able to use that move again, which for many characters, like Arya's special in that when she uses her knife, she gets a replacement special that takes up that button. But most characters, when they use that special, like that button combo just doesn't work anymore. Like if LeBron has called for a ball because his ball got knocked off the map, he can only do that every few seconds. And, when he's on cooldown, he can't just press a button and get a ball back. He has to get the ball back by beating someone up, which it feels bad, right? Like you want to be able to use your good moves.
He just loses his ball, like he throws it and then he doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah, he's a stance character.
He turned it over.
When he's got his ball, he's got one set of moves, and when he doesn't have his ball, he has another set of moves. He's like Hakan, Hakan has the same moves. He's just better when he's a Whaley. He's like Gen in Street Fighter, who's got the Mantis stance and some other stance.
Kick stance. Crane?
Yeah. But LeBron, one of his things is like he will pass the ball or shoot it or like bounce it, and if one of your teammates just throws it away because he's supposed to play with a teammate who knows that you pass the ball back to him and he can then dunk with super force. But I have never found a teammate who's like actually knew that I had passed them the ball and used it properly. Because this is a 2-on-2 game, and that's another thing. Like this game has free for all. It has 1-on-1, but those are de-emphasized. 2-on-2 is its default mode. And that is not how Smash is played. It's played 1-on-1 or it's played free-for-all. Teams is available, but it's...
You can do teams, but should you?
That's not something I've ever seen people play as their default mode, I'll say.
No.
Teams in Smash is for when you are at a gathering with your significant other and there is another pairing who would like to play the same game and not beat each other up. That's what Teams is for.
Teams is for keeping people happy.
Yes.
Teams is not for necessarily competitive play. And in this game, where you've got some characters whose whole thing is I'm supportive, and you've got some characters whose whole thing is like I'm fragile but hit very hard. 2-on-2 with randos, which is the default way of playing, people don't do that, right? They don't cooperate. It's like the Overwatch or the Dota problem where everyone wants to pick the carry or the heavy hitter. No one wants to pick the support. The support is basically in a position, as someone who likes playing supports, I quickly abandoned that because no one fucking cared about what I was trying to do. They were just running into each other, pressing buttons all the time. So you've added these characters who have really supportive traits, but if they're bad at killing, I don't know how in 2-on-2 that's going to work and actually make that incentivized. Like, that's one of the reasons Steven Universe was bad before, was because he was bad at killing, but all of his moves were super duper supportive, and no one cooperates because they're randos. Why would they cooperate? They're trying to do damage. So yeah, it's a frustrating experience playing this on default. I played free-for-all a few times. The queue for free-for-all is like a minute or more to get a game versus a few seconds for 2-on-2. So that's, you're just not going to do that very much. They also turn on items by default in free-for-all because they want it to be a party mode. So it's not really even that supported. And then 1-on-1 is, look, if everyone has dodge moves, it's just a lot of people dodging back and forth forever.
What are the items? I never actually saw items because I didn't play that mode.
So there's a Meeseeks box from Rick and Morty. It makes a Meeseeks who comes out and attacks the enemy. There's some sort of pie robot that rolls around and throws pies. There's a rock you can throw at people. There's Scooby snacks that will heal you. There's
That's
a
not what
TV I
Scooby
threw.
snacks do.
Yeah, so you could throw a TV at people.
Okay.
They're not that interesting
Mm-hmm.
relative to like Smash items.
Fair.
But yeah, 1-on-1 I played a few times, and again, the queue is much, much longer than 2-on-2. And, people play the brawlers and the assassins and some of the mages, but they don't really play the supports because why would you? They're bad in 1-on-1. So yeah, it's an interesting balance conundrum. Did you have a good experience with teammates, Pete?
Not really, which is really the problem with playing Velma. Is because Velma, same thing you said about Steven Universe, is Velma is a support, so you really need people to be like on your side to make it work. And I mean, they tried sometimes, but it was tough.
Yeah. Did either of you have people actively troll you?
How so?
So I played one match where my teammate was Rain Dog.
Mm-hmm.
Rain Dog's ability, key ability, is to tether to their teammate so they can pull them back from the brink and save them, ostensibly.
Mm-hmm.
What this person did was tether to me, jump off the map, and then pull me to the bottom.
Yep. Sounds about right.
That's terrible. Why would somebody be so mean?
So that was very cool. I had some players who just jumped off the map 4 times. Just like
that's just
immediately.
Thank you.
not fun for them.
No.
Why would you waste your time like that?
Clearly it is, because they keep doing it.
Now,
Yeah, you're right.
It,
Yeah, I guess
it might just be a bot, honestly, if they just walk off and don't
no,
do
it wasn't
anything.
a bot. I wasn't in bot mode.
No, I mean like someone is botting the game
okay.
to fuck
Maybe.
with you.
Maybe. It's just, it's frustrating in a 2-on-2 game. And those were 2 games out of hundreds. So I'm not going to say that that's the normal experience, but it's annoying in a 2-on-2 game, right? Like, there's no reporting tools. There's no feedback tool right now. So in Dota or League of Legends, like if someone's being shitty, you can report them and they will be put into low priority queues. They'll be punished in some way. This game doesn't have those tools yet.
Wait, being shitty in Dota 2? Don't you just call that playing Dota 2?
Aha!
Zing!
Got him!
We're gonna get yelled at for this one.
Haven't they suffered enough, Pete, by playing Dota 2?
Oh,
Nice.
they're already dead. Stop.
Yeah, so that's like, it's a frustrating thing that hopefully they will iron out. And right now they don't have ranked mode. They don't have their store yet either. So some of these things might change. So in terms of like the characters though, I feel, so I was going to be harsher on this game. I actually think it plays pretty well now. I think once I knew the characters enough to know what was going on and knew to ignore a lot of the status effects, because there are 31 status effects in this game.
There's so
So
much on
many.
screen all the time.
There's a glossary, and some of the status effects are not intuitive. Like, one of the nice things about Smash and some of the other brawler games is that if your character's on fire and you see them taking damage, you know what fire does. You don't have to be told that fire is some special mode, right? If you're stunned, you don't need a glossary to know what stunned is. The weirdest status effect in Smash is having a flower grow out of your head. But you just see you're taking damage, so you figure it out eventually. In this game, would either of you like to tell me what Enraged does?
I assume it's a damage buff.
Probably makes you attack a lot at random.
I think it makes you hit them further. I think it's a knockback bonus.
What?
So
But,
it's
like,
a good thing?
it's a good thing, and it's look. Why would I know that? You just get an aura around you. I didn't see anything happen. I just said enraged, and I'm like, is this good or bad? Is this a berserk status? Is this a damage buff? I don't know. Like, weakened also popped up, and I was like, well, what does weakened actually do? And that, I think, decreases your damage output and decreases your knockback. But you've just got a broken bone and like a 5 count over your head, and I'm like, what? Huh? Or the chicken. Did either of you get chickened?
Chickened? Do you turn into a chicken?
Yes, Taz can turn people into chickens.
Oh, I did know that.
Huh.
They get tasty.
Yes. And then they can't attack as long as they're chickens. Steven Universe can put people into bubbles where they can't attack, but they kind of float towards the top of the screen and they can't control their movement all that well. Like, there's all these character-specific status effects that are just... Smash has some difficult or unintuitive characters, but it didn't start with 17 of them, right?
They weren't all like that.
Yeah, it wasn't all ice climbers the first time.
Exactly. It wasn't oops all ice climbers. You could play Mario, and you knew what Mario did. He was the Ryu. There is not a single character in this game who I think plays normally compared to like your default Smash characters.
I
Like,
would
they're-
say probably Wonder Woman is the most normal because she just has a sword, but also she has her shield. So
But she has a bar that fills up slowly over time. I don't know what that bar does.
I don't know.
I don't know what
it's
the
like
bar
Gift
does.
of the
Other
Gods,
characters don't
maybe.
have the
I don't
bar.
know.
It's like her lasso, I think, or it might even be another bar that I'm thinking of. But I
Oh,
know
yeah.
her lasso has a bar.
It
Everything
has a
has
very long
bars. The bars
cooldown.
have bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like these are, LeBron's a stance character. Shaggy has a charge up, and then he can unleash basic instinct Shaggy moves. Batman has a grappling hook and throwed weapons. Arya can do Kirby stuff, like she steals people's faces and then can steal their normals. It's just very complex. It's hard to learn all this stuff, and then there's just so much stuff going on screen that I think the barrier to entry here, beyond just the leveling system, is that the game decided to start with a lot of very complex characters and more complex mechanics, and that just, it makes it a little bit harder to understand. Although I will say they captured the essence of a lot of these characters very well.
True. Out of curiosity, did you read the character descriptions? Like, this is what your moves do?
No.
They're so wordy. There's a lot on the screen. If you ever open that menu up, there's just rows and rows of information. I'm like, wow, this is not a good way of conveying this. Did not like that. Basically, just glanced at it, was like, nope. And then I went into fighting bots with the character to learn what the character did.
Yeah. I'm reminded of I used to listen to the Drive to Work podcast with Mark Rosewater, one of the lead designers of Magic the Gathering. And one of the things he talked about was on an episode was about mechanical, like story-driven mechanics versus kind of like designing a mechanic, finding it feels good, and then coming up with a story justification for it. Top-down design or bottom-up design is how he describes it. All of the characters in this game are top-down. Here's this person, we need to come up with a way to make them play the way they're supposed to, right? But they've gone with their specials. They've decided to make a lot of these characters have very specific play styles. And instead of simply saying, okay, this character, like in Smash or Nickelodeon Brawl, actually, I don't know if Nickelodeon Brawl is as wordy as this. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, for example. They didn't tend to have elaborate status effects that only exist for one character to do the thing that they do in the show. This game, every character is like that. Like, I don't know what Velma's big head mode does, but they did that.
Yeah, it's another status effect. She's educated. It decreases her meter cooldown.
Exactly. Like, they came up with a specific buff that only Velma has, because they wanted to capture the essence of Velma. And when you do top-down designs, it can lead you to a space where you've got a dozen narrow designs that are tailored to each specific character's delicate, special, snowflakey needs, instead of just a broad design that's applicable across your entire character set.
Yeah, it's just too much attention to detail. Like, they got so... Their only thought going in was, we have all this IP, and we want to use all of it. Without any attention to, like, oh, how is it actually going to fit together?
It's a lot of rigid designs instead of a strong system that all of these characters are occupying, which I think is that's the secret sauce of some of these games, is that if you've played Pikachu, you will understand Meta Knight, even if you haven't played Meta Knight a bunch, because at the end of the day, they have the same sort of general move set. They'll have different specials. They'll have some slightly different properties on their attacks, but you know which ones are the killing moves. You know how many jumps they have for the most part. You know not to get hit. You still have the block. You still have the throw. The basics are rock solid, and here the basics are not. There's a lot of character-specific stuff. It really incentivizes you to stick with one character, and that's kind of a shame. So, there's also kind of a game juice problem with this game. Do you want to talk about it?
Yep. So, if you listen to the Game Juice podcast, you know that Game Juice is all about letting the player know when you have affected the game. If you press a button and you hit someone and they flash red, that's a good indication that they are getting hurt. This game feels like you are just swinging and nothing is happening. Very rarely do characters actually show any indication that they have taken damage. And the fact that there's no smash effect really just detracts from this. Probably because Smash has honed that in so well, as we talked about on the Game Juice podcast. Listen to the Game Juice podcast if you want to know more about Game Juice. With Multiversus, it's like they missed something, like they need to add in some camera shake or I don't know what, some flashing lights or particle effects.
No, they can't add more flashing lights and particle effects.
Yeah, which is weird because they have a ton of them, and I don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel right. And a lot of people have said this and don't know how to describe it. And I'm trying to narrow in on it, but it's so odd that they missed it. It's hard to say. Just something feels off. You'll know if you play it. It's free to play. Try it out. See what I mean. And then play some Smash, and then you'll know.
Yeah, I think it might be like the lack of sound effects on some things.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like your character does something cool, and the generic. I guess it's not generic. The swelling orchestral music, the orchestral score of Scooby Doo or Steven Universe's. I actually, it's not Steven Universe. It's a Finn and Jake level, an Adventure Time level. Like the swelling orchestral theme versions of these soundtracks, they just don't lend themselves quite as well to like, when Samus shoots a fully charged blast, everyone knows it.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear every single missile that shoots out. When LeBron bounces his ball, it just doesn't sound right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like a powerful thing. Like, I've thrown a ball, and he's got a perk where if the ball's far enough away and it hits someone, it explodes and, like, knocks them extra far. There's not a good sound effect for that. And it should sound like I shot a missile at someone or a bomb, and it doesn't. And, like, there's a lot of little things like that where things don't sound as impactful as they could be.
Yep.
And these characters are also quite chatty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Then there was that's another attention to detail moment where they say unique things
They
to other characters.
Yeah, they talk to other characters. They sort of know what they're about.
Yeah,
I
like
thought that
Superman.
was cool, actually.
Superman asked Shaggy if he ate enough sandwiches when I
Mhm.
was playing, which is a nice touch, but I don't know, what's the return on investment on that? What else could they have? What was the opportunity cost?
Mhm.
Probably low. They have infinite resources.
That's true.
I think
But,
my favorite
go ahead.
was. I think my favorite was Taz and Velma on the same team going into the match. Taz goes, "Don't lose glasses. Don't lose glasses." That one got me.
That's really good.
I liked if you have Bugs and Harley Quinn in the same match, Bugs goes, "I've been swinging mallets since before you were born, kid," which is very good.
That Bugs.
I also like that when Tom dies, he goes with the yow, like the iconic Tom getting burned with a lighter sound
That's
effect,
funny.
which is quite good. And also there's different dialogue between costumes as well. So I saw someone playing Shagsworth, the Shaggy alt, his uncle, Shagsworth. When you have Shaggy on one team and Shagsworth on the other team, Shaggy goes, "Uncle, we're family. We shouldn't fight." And then Shagsworth will sometimes say, "I hate to do this, Shaggy." But it's good. That's a good attention to detail. And the costumes in this game, I think, are quite good, even though it's early on. Did you see the new LeBron skin?
Where he's Robin.
He's Robin.
Raleigh, Batman and Robin?
Yes,
Yeah.
like Robin.
Is that
Why
because
is-
of something that happens in the movie?
It happens in the movie, but it's also if you follow the NBA at all,
I know.
there was a while where when LeBron was on the Heat, they were saying, "Well, is LeBron Batman or Robin? Because Dwayne Wade's good too."
Oh, it's a joke.
It's a
An
joke.
in joke.
Yes.
Mm.
There's also Cowboy LeBron, who's also fun.
Mm.
But yeah, some of the costumes I think are pretty fun. It's a shame also that the cosmetics are good. It makes you want to spend Gleamium.
Don't spend Gino.
I know.
Don't do it.
Gino.
But did you see that that's all, folks, when you knock someone off screen?
Don't spend
That's pretty funny.
It's pretty good. Something Insidious I didn't mention that I feel like we should talk about. The Gleamium, they learned that you shouldn't give anyone exact distributions of Gleamium so that they can buy something and have
Zero
leftover.
Gleamium. Yeah, they want to make sure you have something you have to spend.
Just a little bit extra.
Genius.
They make sure that you always have to over-purchase on Gleamium.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to leave the chips in the casino so you have a reason to go back to the casino. So this game, what differentiates it from many other platformers is the IPs, platform brawlers. I think we should talk about the IPs because,
that's
this
the
game
whole
would
thing.
not get any coverage if it didn't
No.
have them.
That's the whole. It is what it is.
And it counts. It's funny that when Arya kills someone, she makes a pie. That if anyone picks up the pie, they get slowed. Do you know what the pie is from? Either of you?
I assume Game of Thrones.
Well, in Game of
She
Thrones,
feeds a
Yeah.
she feeds a man his sons who she baked into a pie.
Yep. I mean, South Park did it first, but still pretty good.
but this is this is rated E for
Yeah.
everyone, and Arya's pie gets created whenever she kills someone,
hmm
which is very good. So yeah, the IPs. What IPs from the Warner Vault do we want to see come to this game?
There's so many.
Now
There's
remember, Em,
so
your favorite
many.
character, Morty, is already coming, so you can't call out Morty.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna main Morty for season 1.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. God, there's a lot of franchises under the Warner Bros. Banner. I could just start naming them if you want. Do you want a selection? Do you want my favorites?
Yes, I want your favorites.
Fuck.
So as per usual, I find myself the only one concerned for the
Yes.
fairy community.
That's good. Someone needs to be.
Okay.
So as the
Go
voice
on.
of this community, I feel like Lola Rabbit needs to make her appearance.
Of course.
That's a good bet.
Yeah, she's coming through eventually.
Yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Em, do you have any favorites? Or I can go. I've got some favorites.
I would like to hear yours first.
Okay, so Warner Brothers and Discovery have merged. It is now Warner Brothers Discovery, which means the Discovery IP is all available.
Like the Discovery Channel.
Yes. I think Jamie Heineman or Adam Savage would be very funny.
That would be so good.
I mean, they already have LeBron. Like, he can do as many real people as he wants.
You could do real people.
Yeah.
I think it would be very funny if, like, Deadliest Catch had a boat or something. I don't know. A crab. Some sort of crab man who throws crabs. I think it would be very funny.
Gino, what an excellent description for the marketing department. Some sort of crab man who throws crabs.
He's not a crab man. He's not crab. He is a man who fishes for crabs.
Yes, he's a
Please
man who's world
get it
weary,
right.
who fishes. He's a captain.
Oh.
I don't know. Pick one of them. I don't know. The one who's most interesting. The one who signed up for the most seasons. Pick him. I think it would be very funny if they just had a shark for Shark Week.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have multiple skins of the different types of sharks. That'd be fun.
They do the Hanna-Barbera shark first, I think.
That would be good. You could get Mike Rowe from Dirtiest Jobs, but that I feel like he's
a little
problematic.
unsavory lately. Yeah.
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 I would
but
like
it
to
would
see,
be funny to see
now
him,
that, like, we know that the characters speak to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to see Foghorn Leghorn, and he just never shuts up the entire time he's out there.
that would be good. I just want Mike Rowe to express a dog's anal glands on an opposing character.
Who
Like, that's just one of
doesn't?
his supers.
Oh.
One of his specials. M, now that you've
Okay.
heard my idea. They also own the History Channel, so Genghis Khan is available.
All right. Okay. There's so many weird fucking kits that they could have. It depends on the age that they are marketing towards. I feel like these are
All
supposed.
ages.
Mm,
M, it's E for everyone.
okay, all
I mean, they have
ages.
Steven Universe and Arya Stark. Like, they're all
That's
over
true.
the place.
That's true. Okay, so we can go from like Cartoon Network old school stuff. I think Samurai Jack would be an amazing get for this.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer. The Codename Kids Next Door kids, you could have a whole bunch of those in there.
Oh, yeah.
We could start getting weirder. We could go to their New Line Cinema franchises.
Yes.
Austin Powers is one that everyone seems to want. That would
Of
be
course.
amazing. They also own Final Destination, which I think
Yes.
would be very interesting just to act as like fate on the battlefield.
Blender.
Yeah, you're just like stuff, and you can kill people via stuff. They own Middle Earth, so all of those characters in the Lord of the Rings franchises are fair game. They've got it, so we could see Pennywise the Clown. They own The Exorcist. They own Free Willy.
Yes!
They own...
How would the killer whale, like, how would it be on the stage? It would just, like, flop around.
Yes!
I think you play as the kid, like, who tames Free Willy.
The movie's called Free Willy. They're not going to do the kid.
The kid from Free Willy. He summons Willy.
The kid, and then he summons Willy, and then he, like, jumps across the screen. It would be amazing.
I will give either of you $1,000 right now if you can name the kid off the top of your head.
John.
There's no.
John. I'm gonna look it up.
I believe that. It up. Okay. While you're looking that up, I'm gonna keep going because I cannot stop. Elf, the franchise Elf. They could have Will Ferrell in this video game.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Never-ending Story. You could have that kid and his big monster.
Sorry to interrupt them, but this is more important.
Okay.
Gino, you were close. His name's Jesse.
Damn it!
So close. They own the Matrix.
They do.
Yep. They could have Neo.
He would have guns.
He would have guns.
Oh my god.
Thundercats. V for Vendetta. Shaolin Showdown for the old school kids.
Yeah.
This could be, like, if they had went in a different direction, this could have been one of the darkest fighting games ever made.
It's no Wu-Tang Shaolin style, but it could be pretty dark.
I think we need to revisit this in, like, 5 years when they have a full roster, because it's going to go off the rails.
It's going to be like Marvel v. Capcom. It's going to be like 80 people.
Yeah. That's what I'm hoping. Like,
how many Katherine Heigls could they have in this?
I'm really looking forward to playing as the men from 2.5 Men who summon the Half Man. Gossip Girl.
Yes.
Oh man, there's so many. Dukes of Hazzard. Just bring the whole car into it.
I mean, Ice Road Truckers is a History Channel show. Could they just get a truck that's driving on an icy road?
Probably.
Are there?
They make the stage icy, and then they drive a truck around on it.
Do they own ER?
Yes.
Can we get George Clooney into this thing?
Yes. I think George Clooney played Batman at one point, so it would be interesting to hear the dialogue between him and Batman. All the DC stuff is fair game. Peacemaker, by the way, also owned by DC, so you know. So
there were a bunch of WWE crossover shows with Scooby-Doo and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could we get Peacemaker and also John Cena in Scooby-Doo?
Separately.
Ooh, could we get, if they own Scooby-Doo, could we get the Harlem Globetrotters?
Probably.
Yeah, probably.
They've been on multiple episodes.
I would like Nathan Fielder from The Rehearsal.
I don't know if they own that.
They own HBO.
They own HBO, yeah.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Yeah. So
we could start pulling people from HBO's late night roster.
Taxi Cab Confessionals.
Oh my god.
Captain Planet.
Whoever from The Leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
Look, Euphoria. Zendaya from Euphoria could be in this.
Oh boy. This is a weird one.
This is the greatest idea anyone's ever had.
Yeah.
So, like, I feel it's essential to mention because when I was playing this game and streaming this game, ZP frequently reminded me, like, there are people who love this game. There are people who really respect it. And
there are people who love every game.
Yes, and that was my response. But one of his arguments was this game got a lot of 7 and 8s out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I, as a cursory look, went back and looked at PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale, which is another one of these games that is, I think at this point, widely panned. Like, it's understood as an inessential game that is okay to make fun of, for the most part. And it's similarly got 8s, 7s, and 8s, because at the end of the day, these are games to be played because you like the IPs you're playing with, and the fighting game part is very secondary to the IP smooshing, right?
I would just point out 7 and 8s is like a video game journalist's 4.
Yes, which is another thing. Like if you got a 7 and an 8, that's like you got a D on a test.
Yeah.
Like I don't think
passing.
I don't think I've ever seen a game that's functional, looks pretty decent, and was made by a large studio that got lower than a 6 in recent memory, even if that game is completely inessential and will never be cared for or loved. Shoutouts to I guess Injustice is still remembered. What was the Resistance Fall of Man? Shoutouts to Resistance Fall of Man.
Injustice can be in this game, by the way.
That's true. All of the Injustice characters.
Yes.
But yeah, it just reminded me that like these games are their IP. Mm-hmm. The quality of this game will hinge entirely, similar to Fortnite, entirely on the amount of stuff they can cram into this thing to get you to go, "Aw, man, I'm fighting Goku against Naruto."
Mm-hmm.
You know? And at the end of the day, what we say about the combat, about the perk system, about some of the economy, all of that gets thrown to the wayside if they get enough cool characters to draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't think we can grade, like, clearly this was a cash grab of sorts, and I don't think we should grade on like a cash grab curve. Yeah, like it's better than it had any right to be, but it shouldn't have been in the first place. So what does that say?
That's fair. Yeah. So with that, do we have any other closing thoughts on Multiversus? More maps, please.
I think we have looked at this one too early. I think we need to look at this one later down the line when the mechanics get cleaned up and also there's a ton more characters and they stop with that stupid rotation system and or paying for them. And then I think we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah, I think that this is similar to like when we checked out Dead Cells. And by the time Dead Cells was out of early access, it was a completely different game. Just much more polished. So we'll have to check back in. Probably not going to do another show on it, but
no.
We might check back in to play it, similar to how we might check out Fortnite to have Kamehameha wave people. So with that, Pete, it is now your turn to pick once again.
It is. It is my turn to pick. So let me pull up my list here. I'm going to pick a genre we haven't played in a while, but I think I'm usually the one who picks it, strangely enough. So we are going to play Patrick's Parabox. It's a puzzler.
Ooh. Starring Patrick Star?
I assume so, and his many boxes. No, it's mostly just squares. In fact, I think the tagline might be boxes all the way down. So you're a box. The arena's a box. You're moving boxes, but it's supposed to be a very good puzzler.
Ooh, this has a look like what is the name of it? We played it.
Up and to the right.
Yes.
Yes. Something's Journey, maybe.
It's not Stanley Parable.
It does kind of look like Stanley Parable in the logo.
Yeah, the logo definitely does. It was one of the first games. Thomas Was Alone.
That was it, yes. Very good game.
Yep.
I like that one a lot.
It definitely has a little bit of a Thomas Was Alone look to it. But, oh boy, I'm looking at the trailer for this game.
Yeah.
Nest puzzles within puzzles.
Yep. It's boxes all the way down.
Oh boy. Whoa.
Excellent. Yes. Okay. Excellent. So next time we are playing Patrick's Parabox. Thank you, Pete.
Yep. This was an interesting game, if not my favorite one we've ever played.
Thank you, M.
I'm just going to rattle off more properties that they're going to put in
Yeah,
here
please do.
while we get played out by the ending song. So do your piece, and then I'll do it.
Okay. Thank you. Listeners, reminder, you can get in touch with the show at DeepListensPod on Twitter, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections and deeplistenspodcast at gmail.com. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. All right. And also, please do donate if you can to the National Network of Abortion Funds. All right. M, do your thing.
Ace Ventura.
Till next time. Peace.
Ace Ventura, Casablanca, Dennis the Menace, Yogi Bear, Powerpuff Girls, Dirty Harry, Friday the 13th, The Hobbit, King Kong, The Lost Boys, The Monsterverse, all of those guys, Willy Wonka, Richie Rich, Police Academy,
The Herculoids.
Sphere, the video game.
The world is
Captain
chaos.
Caveman.
I don't know what that is. Okay. Family Matters, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, Get Smart,
Harvey Birdman. Space Ghost.
Dexter's Laboratory, Chowder, Megas XLR.
Oh, fuck, that'd be good.